I want to start off by just saying thank you to anyone who left any kind of concern on my storm videos. I literally have not been able to go back and watch those. I was in such a bizarre place that I have never been in my life. Like, my mind was completely scattered. Like, even now, it's kind of like concerning to me. Like, life is still just getting back to normal. Last Tuesday, we tried to go back into work. It took 5 hours to get there, 2 hours to get home. So I was able to work the rest of the week from home. Went back into the office today, and still had trouble getting home. And when I say 5 hours, that's a normal 30-minute drive for me. It took 5 hours. My street that I live on is still flooded right now, so it's like I don't take it lightly when people put, sensationalized titles out there just trying to, it's social media. People are going to do what they do. But one of my coworkers, she said it best. She was like, I don't even need a newscaster standing out there showing me how fast the wind can blow. Because we know it's a storm, but that's spoken from the mouth of somebody who's actually been through something. Like, unless you've really been through it and really had it close upon you, it's nothing that I can say to explain it. And then people feel like, oh, well, you didn't lose. Not people here in Houston. People who are not here in Houston feel like, well, nothing happened to you. You didn't lose anything. It, I didn't lose physical items, and that does make me feel guilty in a way. It does make me want to give back to people who did lose, but you don't know the experience that happened. What happened was I went to work on a Friday, told I could go home at 12 noon, dropped off a coworker, laughed at her because she had taken an Uber to work because she had parked her car on like the fifth floor of a garage, had a good laugh about that. Came home and expected to, I did fill up my car with gas, expected to, endure for 24 hours and walk outside and see what was left or if I needed to go to a shelter. What I was not prepared to do was to sit in the house for days and days, worried about getting flooded and hearing the rain go down nonstop for like 3 or 4 days and getting up every 2 hours to see if there was water like right outside my window. And then what even made it worse after that didn't happen, when they said that they were going to unleash the dams in my neighborhood, I was not expecting to be able to like visibly see the water coming in and happen to decide, do I stay or do I go? And then when they did the undercover, they were going to cut power in this area, and they did it by street sections, and I was like right at the street. It was nothing but the grace. I mean, it's the most bizarre thing. And the fact that for me that I was going through it all by myself, like I couldn't do anything because my immediate street was like surrounded by water. Not my subdivision where I live, but my immediate street. Even when you would go outside, you wouldn't see people. I couldn't even go to the grocery store to like, walk around and look in the aisles because you had to wait outside in line. And to go through all of that by myself, it really pushed my mind to a whole nother place of this bizarre isolation. It really made me start to question some things too about support systems and what that means to me. I never really felt like I had one. But just to be honest, I do consider myself a family of one. And that in itself is a blessing and a curse, because when you are perceived as strong, and I want to do a video about that tomorrow, when you are perceived as strong, people don't really see the whole person. I don't need support 24/7, but when I need it, I need it. And I don't need somebody to say they don't know. So that just makes me kind of like take a step back and then put everything even heavier upon myself, all my thoughts, all my concerns. I couldn't stress myself out because I'm like the only one. Like, even like when I was standing in line for the grocery store and there's like different couples and families there, and one person can go down this aisle and see what they have on that, or see what they have over here, or they're going to put some water out. The team aspect of it would have made it better, but I mean, that was the worst thing that I think I could have done, was to kind of like endure it by myself. And also just like the sheer number of incompassionate people that I know is baffling to me. People are so concerned about what is going on and their four walls and nothing else. It is driving me to definitely want to volunteer and do things. I've already wanted to do that, like do like a mentor type program or just give back to like underprivileged communities. There's a lot of things that are going on. One of my coworkers, she's a member of the church where Beyonce came in. I talked to another coworker in that same conversation because everybody's kind of like standing with the wide eyes, like really amazed. It's really crazy. The whole situation is really crazy. But my other coworker said that she knew a teacher that was flooded out, so she gave the her $50 donation that she would have gave to like a bigger entity. She just handed that over to the teacher that she knew, so the teacher can go buy supplies for her students. Somebody on my job made a comment because we have been getting some perks, at my job and stuff like that, like just like free lunch, free food, whatever, free breakfast. And they were like, well, I don't understand why. And I'm like, that's like the compassion that people have. Like, well, why are they doing this? Well, they're doing it because you don't know what a person has lost. There's a lot of people that have pride that may not tell you the material things that they lost. You don't know who's eating and who's not eating right now because people took, the city was shut down for a week. Like an entire week, you couldn't go anywhere. So I'm not trying to be, super like dramatic. I think there's a lot of drama on social media. That's the world that we live in. But there's a difference between being dramatic and traumatic. Like when something really happens to you, you know it's true when you can shut your mouth and you can still feel like like you're shaking. You're shaking up. It's serious and you can't really put it into words. So I'm just really trying to get back to normal and really like evaluate some things and figure out, why did it affect me so badly? Just like I could not get my thoughts together. I just couldn't. I just was like, I was just at a complete loss, and I've wanted to make some changes in my life. Maybe, move and relocate and things like that will definitely help me. I love to get out into nature when I'm stressed, but the park that I normally even go to is flooded. And like right here in my immediate area, that park, some of my coworkers like lost their things, and so I feel so fortunate, but I just feel so moved to say that life is too short to sit around and to be an actress that's not on like a Hollywood show. I want to make sure that my life is the real thing for me. And sometimes that changes. Like right now, I think for me, right now, that's changing. It all goes back to being a whole person because people expect you to be one thing these days. And that's not really realistic because if you look within yourself, you're not just one thing. There's all different kind of emotions that can come out of you and all different kind of desires that can come out of you that if you are in a situation that has kind of slowed you down. Like nobody wants to go to the mall, right? Like a lot of people don't want to go to the mall. I'm not gonna say nobody. A lot of people don't want to go to the mall and they don't want to go out to eat right now because like it's kind of like it's like wow, you can ride down the street and see like people's life possessions out there on the curb. It kind of makes you feel completely different. I'm not into material things like that. Like I told my grandmother before the storm happened, I didn't even care. And I really don't care about things, but I really do care about my true happiness in life and helping others. I did want to say, like, I think I want to go to like an underprivileged neighborhood or a Hispanic neighborhood. I don't care what the media tells you. They never show it all. This is Mexico here in Houston. There's a lot of people who are undocumented or have people who live with them that are undocumented and they work very hard. They own businesses and they contribute a lot to the local economy, and those people are willing to live in deplorable conditions because of the language barrier. They may not know how to get the resources that they as a legal citizen could be entitled to. So it's just a lot of different ways to help and give back right now. And I think I no longer want to have the life where it's just me and what's in my four walls that matter. I really want to, give back and also make some connections and build a support system that I feel connected to. Not a fake one, not an artificial one, but something real. I don't know. Maybe getting out of Houston is like more and more on the horizon. I'm looking for like, I think like Colorado or something like that would be nice. It has to have like or like Seattle or something like that. I just want to have some mild weather. I want to have some mild weather, some nature, and healthy lifestyle, like that kind of hippie kind of vibe. So there's so much going on in my life. I just wanted to share that, and thank you once again for watching. Today is 9/11, so it's just so much that you can forget about in a lifetime. And I was just watching a sermon about the etymology of the word. Just remember means to put back together, and to dismember means to put apart. And certain things you want to put back together, and certain things that you don't. But I can say I cannot even really think about my mind space for the last 2 weeks because it was not all there. I just want to think about how can I now do something better, do something more. So I hope this made sense.